Another random topic video for y'all. This one is about my track story. And it actually started off my freshman year of high school. My Spanish teacher was also the athletic director for the school. So he would always be, telling me and my friends, hey, you guys got to go out for track. I already played football and, I played basketball as well. Not for the school, but that's in another video. Yeah, he would always tell us, hey, guys, go out for track. Track is a great sport. You guys got to go out, sign up, man. You're going to have a lot of fun. And, I don't know. I didn't grow up playing track. Like, in the hood, niggas was not thinking about track. Dudes was thinking about basketball and football. That's it. Track was like, what? Track? Who cares? So I was like, I don't want to play no track. I didn't even give it a second thought. I never sat home and said, maybe I should play it. I didn't go out there and see what track was all about. Didn't do any type of inquiries, anything. I just said no. That's how we was at the time. If we anything out of the ordinary for us, we just brushed it off and we wasn't doing it. You couldn't get us to do anything that we wasn't normally accustomed to doing. So I didn't do it freshman year, didn't do it sophomore year, didn't do it junior year. It wasn't until my senior year of high school, and football was over. And like I said, I never played basketball for the school. A friend of mine who also played football with me, he had joined the track team. So football had just ended. So I actually wanted to hang out. I'm like, yo, what you guys doing? Excuse me. I said, what are you doing, Mom? You know what I'm saying? And he's just like, yo, nah, I got track practice. Like, oh, you do track? He's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I just want something to do. I don't want to spend the rest of my time in high school, just sitting around my senior year, what I'm saying, not doing anything. I want to be active, just like we was during football season. So I'm like, he's right. And I don't know what it is about me. When my friends say they're going to do something, I usually follow right in suit. I'm like, oh, you going? That's what finally got me to go and do track. That my friends are doing it. Even though the athletic director had been telling me for years, go out for track, no cigar. My friend says he's going to do it. Me, just like a little jackrabbit, I follow right along. So I signed up for indoor track. I was just thinking, hey, fuck it, I'm going to be with my friends, so we're going to have a good time. And I got there, and then my first day, I remember it like it was yesterday. I went to Hope High School, and we had an outdoor track, but we didn't have anything for indoor track. So we would have to walk literally just down the street, it was to Moses Brown, Moses Brown High School. And we would use their indoor track. I don't know if I even remember if they had a track. I think they did have a track team, but we never really got in each other's way. I think their track practice might have been a couple hours, like an hour or so after ours. So we never really got in each other's way. But anyway, I came on a day where they were doing sprints. The indoor track is about 150 meters. So they was doing 150s, which is one time around the track. I'm like, yeah, that's no problem. And so what happened was, so we started doing the sprints, and I didn't think it was going to be any big deal because, it's just sprinting. I just came from doing football. We would do like suicides and different things. So I was already in shape. So I'm like, it shouldn't be too bad. What I didn't realize was that you have to get used to running in a circle, which is something that never even entered my mind. I would never think, man, if you want to do track, you have to get used to running in a circle. Or even saying it now, it sounds strange. I got used to it pretty quick after that, but that day, man, I wasn't tired necessarily because we was only sprinting, but we had to do like 9 of these things, man. My coach was crazy. Shout out to Coach Tom. Coach Tom's band. He had us doing, man, he would have us doing all type of crazy workouts. And we did like, after like 9 sprints, man, like I was so dizzy and discombobulated. I just had to go and step out for a second. I remember some of the girls on the team had to leave early, and when they came out there, they just see me just slumped on the bench, just looking into the sky like, and they're just like, "Damn, what happened to you? Like, is he still alive?" And man, it was one of the craziest experiences. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought about quitting that same day. I was like, man, I'm never coming back here again. Like, I don't ever want to feel like this again. That was pretty much the end of practice. I went back inside after I collected myself after a while. We pretty much just cooled down, a couple light jogs, and then stretched, and then went back. And I really had decisions to make. I really was going to quit. I don't even know why. I don't know. I said, you know what? Instead of sitting there and thinking about trying to weigh my options or anything like that, I'm just going to go again on the second day. And if the second day is anything like the first day, I'm never coming back. So I went the second day, and I think that day, if I remember correctly, we was doing hills. So now we're running up the hill. And the second day was definitely a lot better than the first day. I wouldn't say easier, but better. I didn't get dizzy this time. Didn't feel discombobulated. Didn't have to go and lay down and not be able to complete practice. It was definitely hard work and it definitely was tough, but I thugged it out. I had a good time and started making a lot of new friends. They was laughing at me from the day before, but it was all good and it was all well and fun. And like I said, started enjoying myself and I persevered. I gotta say that these are some of the most fun times I've ever had in high school. It was more fun than football. And, like I said, I never played basketball for the school, so I'll say it was more fun than basketball too. Yeah, I mean, I met friends that I still talk to today, and we won a lot. We was actually good. We was one of the best track teams in the state. Whereas football, even though we had fun, it was more fun because we used to just slack around all the time and just BS. So it was fun in like a BS type of manner. We had like a losing culture at the football. So, you can have fun in that, but it's a lot more fun when you're winning. When you're winning meets, when you're placing very high and, you actually have a chance to do something at the state meets. I don't want to get too far ahead. Let me go back. My race that I ran during the indoor track season was the 300. The 300 meter relay. Excuse me, not relay. The 300 meter race. I want to say my fastest time was around like a 42. First meet, probably. So I went from like a 46 to like down to like a 42 throughout the track season. And I honestly felt that if I had more time, I would have got down to the 30s. By outdoor season, we ran a 300 outside, and I did that in like 40. So I'm like, unfortunately, it was my senior year. So that was the end of it. I really regret not listening to my athletic director / Spanish teacher when he told me to go out for track. I could have had years of that type of experience. There's indoor track and outdoor track. Also, again, I play football, so I could have did football, indoor track, then outdoor track for 4 years and had a blast. But, being stubborn, thinking I could play basketball, I missed out on a lot of good times. But, however, everything happens for a reason. I want to get back to my story. I jump around a lot. It's just how my mind works. But, so don't get... Anyway, yeah, so I was doing the 300 meter relay, the 4x4 relay, which I hated, because the 300, again, the indoor track is 150 meters. So the 300 is 2 laps around it. 400 is like 2.5, something like that. I fucking hated the 4x4. The relay itself is fun, but having to run that 400 meters, I always seen myself as a sprinter. Apparently my coach didn't. I wasn't as fast as our fastest sprinter, who was like, he was like top 2 fastest people in the state. I always felt that I was fast enough to where I could compete there. Maybe I was kidding myself. Who knows? I thought I was up to it. The 300, I eventually that was my favorite event, I would definitely say. Because, by the time we got to outdoor, my coach pretty much had me running the 400. Even though I wanted to run the 200, So I found myself a lot kind of just having to put my ego to the side and doing what was best for the team. In reality, he needed me for the 4x4. Mainly as an alternate during indoor. I even got to go to the state meet at the indoor track as an alternate. Didn't end up having to run, thank God. But I find myself doing that a lot. Putting my own selfish wants to the side for the betterment of the team. Only some people are made for that type of stuff. Anyway, we get to outdoor. Excuse me, I'm skipping around a lot. So the indoor track meet, the state championships, we did pretty well. The fastest sprinter in the whole state got injured, or he like pulled his hamstring or something like that. So the sprinter on our team ended up winning gold at states, along with the female sprinters. So we had the top 2 fastest sprinters in the whole state on our team. Both of our relays won, the 4x1 relay, 4x2 relay, and the 4x4 relay. We won both of them. The most exciting events, we won them. However, the only reason we didn't come in any higher, we didn't win the entire states, the overall point for states, is because you get a lot of points for the distance runners. The distance runners, I mean, if you have a nice distance team, you don't even have to win any of the faster sprints. You can just place, every time a runner places for his team, either in the top 6, you get points, and those points add up to your overall score. So we had a lot of points. We might have came in like 4th, or 3rd, or 4th, or something like that. And the only reason we didn't win is because, unfortunately, at Hope High School, there's a lot of Black and Latino students, and just not very many long distance runners. So we pretty much barely had any at all. We might have had one. Everyone was just sprinters. And honestly, I call it a conspiracy theory. I think it was made that way for a reason. You know, black people are known to be faster than white people. You disagree? Hey, that's just, look at the NBA, look at the NFL, look at the Olympics. Judge for yourself. A lot of the points came from just the long distance runners. So that's how a lot of the schools from like the Boondocks area, you know, like the way out of the way places, they would win a lot of these, you know, like LaSalle, Hendricken, you know, for those of you that's in Rhode Island, schools like that. You know, the schools that had all the, like the inner city schools with all the black kids, all the minority kids, I mean, we pretty much had all the sprinters. And in the Boondocks places with all the white people, they had all the distance runners. And you got so many points for the distance runners because there were more distance races than sprints. They ended up just winning states most of the time, you know, unfortunately. You know, now we get to outdoor. The outdoor, I was running the 400, the 200, and again, the 4x4 relay. I just couldn't escape it. But this time, I found myself having to run it a lot more than not, you know, because some of the guys who would ran indoor and would do the 4x4 relay, I guess they weren't that into outdoor, so they would barely show up for practice. And then by the time we would get to the meet, our coaches, he didn't let them run. So I found myself running the 4x4 relay a lot. We won a lot. We usually came in first place. We smoked most of the people. So that was a fun aspect of it. So it was, the outdoor 4x4 was a lot better because it's just one lap around the track. Whereas indoor, the track is 150, so you're running like 2.5 laps, and it's just weird. It kind of just throws you off. So for me, it was hard to judge exactly how fast to run each lap. But in outdoor, since it's only one lap around the track, is full, you know, the outdoor track is 400 meters. That I could kind of, I had more of an idea. Okay, how fast am I gonna go on the straightaway? How fast am I gonna go on the turns? You know, I just had more sense of control over exactly what I was gonna do. I could actually visualize it. You know, I can't do that with a 150 meter track. I mean, it's just damn near impossible. Yeah, we won a lot. You know, the 400, the solo 400 is, I didn't want to do that at all. My coach made me do that majority of the time. He only let me do the 200 but a few times. And since I only did it a few times, I really couldn't, I could never get better at it and improve my time because I was barely doing it. You know, he always wanted to make sure that I was there for the 4x4 relay. So he made me do the 400. My times, I think my first time was like a minute and like 5 seconds. May have been my first time doing it. And I cut that down to like 58. I cut down to like 60 and like 58. And 57, and then I seem to be stuck at 57. Usually when I would run, my times would get faster and faster and faster and faster. But for the 400, it's too long to be a sprint, and it's too short to be long distance. It was just right in the middle. And I don't know. I just couldn't figure out how to get my time faster. You know, no matter how hard I would run at practice, I just always ran a 57. 57 or 58. Stayed right there. Because I did run the 4x4 relay, I got to travel. I got to travel with the team and go to a lot of out-of-state relays. You know, I went to there was a New York relay, and oh man, when you hear this story, my coach decided for whatever reason that it would be best to make me the anchor runner. You know, the anchor's who runs last. So he puts me as the anchor runner in this New York relay. And so my team started out, our first runner, he kills it, smokes everyone. You know, he's in the lead. Second runner creates more of a distance. Third runner creates more of a distance. Then they give it to me. I get the baton, and I'm just taking off. I'm like, I'm gonna just sprint this whole damn thing. And everyone's like, no, slow down. So I kind of slow down a little bit. I reach there, you know, and I got this huge lead. Everyone thinks we're gonna blow everyone up. And you know, by the time we reached like the third, you know, the last straightaway, my legs was done. My legs was done, and man, I almost got to the finish line, and we almost won. Unfortunately, I got passed by like 2 people, right? Like, I'm talking like maybe like 10 meters of the finish line. And it probably was one of the most embarrassing things. I mean, we had like the biggest lead, and I just completely blew it, and we ended up placing like 3rd. We got medals, but I mean, I could only imagine somebody looking in the stands like, wow, that team is just smoking everyone. And then the last guy comes and then loses the whole lead that they just built up. And, you know, it was, I mean, you know, my teammates, they was good sports about it. They didn't, I guess they really didn't care about that relay too much, you know, and man, they, they definitely roasted me that day. You know, they clowned me and laughed at me, but it was all good. Again, it was all good and fun. They all laughed like, oh no, like I got passed and I'm just like, no, I'm trying to run faster, and my legs are just done, man. And unfortunately, I gave up the lead. It's all good, you know. Like I said, track was some of the most fun I've had in my life. And oh yeah, by the way, I got to go to Penn Relays, one of the biggest track events in the world. Just being there for them couple days at Penn Relays, it was worth having to run all those 400s. All those 400s that I hated, going to Penn Relays was the most fun. Traveling to Philadelphia, you know, staying in the hotel rooms, it was just so many people. It was, I've never been, you know, we're in like a little town, the small state of Rhode Island. And then going to this huge arena. Matter of fact, it was a stadium, excuse me, not even an arena. It was a stadium just filled with people, seeing all these different runners from all across the world. Man, that was definitely some of the most exciting thing. I got to see this. I got to see the Jamaican team. You know, this is 2006. So I don't know exactly who was running on what team. I had to see the American track team. There was like college track teams, professional, high school. It was like every level of track team from about high school on to professionals. Everybody just running. And luckily for me, he decided to go with another runner. You know, I was just there as the alternate, but I didn't care. Even just being there, just experiencing all of that. I mean, being in the streets, seeing all the different vendors and so many people walking through the streets with, you know, we've seen a lot of different high schools track, you know, talking to the girls. I mean, that was the most fun I've had in a while, man. That definitely made my year, you know. And I could have I'm like, to think, I could have been doing this all 4 years of high school. So had I only listened to the athletic director / Spanish teacher from freshman year, I could have been doing things like that. You know, I could have had, you know, that kind of year all throughout high school. You know, I could have had so many more memories. I guess the lesson here is to say, people need to be more open-minded. Just because something isn't what you're accustomed to doing, just because something isn't what you grew up doing or is what is cool in your neighborhood, you should be open to any and all things. You should at least give it a chance to look into it and see if it's for you or not. I really would have wished I would have just went to a practice and seen how it was, or even just tried it out for a couple weeks. You know, even that, just try it out for a little bit, and if you don't like it, at least you know you don't like it, you know. But to just dismiss things and say, oh well, that's not, you know, people around my way don't do that. That's a huge mistake. You don't know what you're possibly missing out on, you know, by turning down things without even inquiring at least a little bit. Yeah, that's my track story. So many good memories. We would just cut up during you know, the track practices are some of the most, even the practices was fun. You know, practice was rarely ever fun. Track was definitely the highlight of my high school career. I definitely have to say that. It's just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out. Go track teams all across the world. Join track. It's fun. Trust me. Be open-minded. Do your thing. Holla at your boy. Peace.